Today we continue our series on the Grob Opening by covering a game from Magnus Carlsen. He starts this thing off with the move of g4, and in the videos up until this one, we've been taking a close look at the move of d5. Black really targeting that pawn on g4. d5 is so popular, it's so common, and it's the engine move. Very often Black doesn't play engine moves at all after d5, but d5 a lot of players do get right. But what if Black just plays something quietly here, right? What if Black just, for example, plays g6? This is what we see in the game here. Well, if Black doesn't immediately, right, at some point try to make any kind of effort on the king side towards that g4 pawn, we can get a substantial space advantage and a really fun game. So here we have bishop g2, very active, and with bishop g7, here we have the move of h4 played. I'm actually a really big fan of this. I mean, this is just going, you know what, you want to play h5? Fine, I'll take some space. We're good with that. And this gives us h5 flexibility as well if Black doesn't end up going for that. So h6 is played in the game here, and notice how Magnus plays this. We have d4 and e4. 4 pawn moves, but great space advantage. Knight c6, bishop e3, knight c3, knight ge2. I mean, it looks like we're in a 150 attack right now. And I mean, we just have a great game. If I saw this position, I would want white in a lot of ways. I mean, if I were Black, I probably would have put my knight on d7. I highly prefer that, and then look to fianchetto the bishop and look to go into some type of hippo. But even then, against this setup, the hippo might not be the best idea, as white could fight for f5 ideas, and you want to have the bishop looking at that spot. Nonetheless, d5 is played here. And Magnus goes, okay, I'm going to take some space. Now, I do want to take a moment and just focus on this French defense type pawn structure here. Okay, this is considered the French defense structure. This can happen in a lot of openings. Obviously, the French is the most common one, but this type of advancement for white, how does Black respond to this? Well, typically you'd want to put a pawn on c5 to put pressure on d4. Between these two pawns, d4 is the weaker one because, I mean, e5 is protected by a pawn, d4 is not. That said, the knight's in the way, and we also have the bishop looking at that spot. So what should Black do here? Well, Black should not play f6, right? If you play the French defense, be very careful about f6 if you don't have a pawn supporting it. I'm not saying it's never good. I'm just saying that it's often a really bad idea if you don't have a pawn defending f6, because this allows white to take, and now pawn structure-wise, this pawn is considered backwards. It can't push with the support of another pawn. We have a pawn looking at the square it would like to push to someday, and it's on a semi-open file. So for those 3 reasons, we have a backwards pawn. And here white could play something like queen d3, putting pressure on g6. Notice by pushing the f-pawn, we're not supposed to push the f-pawn in the opening in most cases. E6 and g6 are weakened. Let's say Black tries to play e5. All right, let's say, you know what, they don't want to have that weakness there forever, that backwards pawn that we're going to target like crazy, and they play e5. We have the tactical shot of knight takes d5 now because g6 is weak. Guys, this is why weaknesses matter. Someone might look at queen d3 and go, yeah, I'm not threatening anything. And that's true. You're not threatening knight takes d5 right now, but you are putting pressure on Black. And this isn't one of those, oh, hope chess, let's just hope they mess up. No, pressure is good. Pressure is a good thing. Could they mess it up? Of course, it happens all the time. But pressure is how you win chess games, right? When you're going up against someone good, they're rarely going to give you an easy mate in 2 or hang their queen. But if you keep putting pressure on their position, if you keep improving your pieces and not allowing them to improve theirs, obviously easier said than done, you will get to the point where so much pressure is forming and churning. And this is kind of the approach that Anatoly Karpov took. He would put more pressure and more pressure and more pressure, and eventually the opponent would crack. Here, if e5 is played, knight takes c5. We're very happy that we have pressure all of a sudden. And hey, if you want to take on d5, queen takes g6, check. You want to move to f8 or something, we'll take the knight gladly and look towards taking on f6. If king e7, your king's on e7. We can take on e5, throw in a check. I'm just going to stop it here. This is getting ugly. And if Black tries e takes d4, okay, we take on f6, so check. We take on d4. I mean, sure, you could take the knight, but then your king's on f6. So castling queenside. Funny enough, we're up a pawn here. I mean, hey, we're up a pawn. We have the bishop pair. We're castled. Their king's on f6, leading the charge with queens on the board. I'll take our chances. e5, right? Just wanted to cover why f6 in this type of position is a move that you really never want to play when you don't have a pawn defending it. In most instances, I mean, this is something I talk about in the Hippo. When you have this type of pawn structure, you never want to touch this pawn. Don't do it. Push this one instead. But okay, b6 is played. And how do we approach this position? Which pawn should we push? Right? I'm trying to incorporate some chess strategy into this video as well for those of you that don't play the Grob. Because, I mean, this is a very typical type of position. And when you're looking at pawn structure, you want to make pushes that limit your opponent's activity, your opponent's potential pawn breaks, and you want to give your pieces more activity and potential pawn breaks. So which one of these moves is best for our game? Well, h5 is played, and that's the best move there between those two options. g5 here would be a terrible mistake because black has multiple options, including pushing the pawn. And what do we have to play for now on the king side? Pawn, this pawn cannot move, cannot move, cannot move, cannot move. Can move, but why? Black has a knight and a double pawn clamp on that square. And black's pawn structure is in great unity here. I mean, one base defending both ways. This is beautiful chess for black. We don't want that. All right, so g5 there. This limits our activity. This limits our options. We would love to get a knight on f6, for example. How are we going to get there? Oh, wait, we can't. It's all neutralized. So g5 there is not the way to go. Now, if you play h5 here, how's black going to respond? I mean, they could leave the pawn there, which gives us the ability to take. It gives us the ability to play g5 potentially and really put pressure on both pawns. It depends how we want to go about it. But if black pushes, is black's pawn structure in unity? Not at all. It's not smooth. It's not clean, right? There's no f5 square for this knight now. There's no g6 square. The knight is completely limited. When we played g5, black had knight f5 as an option, as an idea that they could go for at some point, right? But with the move of h5, this knight has nowhere to go. Can't move, can't move, can't move, can't move. Only the f-pawns can move right now. Should this guy ever move? We already know the answer is no, because when we take, this is a backwards pawn. Should our f-pawn move? Sure. That's great. We don't have a backwards pawn when we play that. So we have queen d2 here. Now we have f4 played in the game, expanding. And black ended up taking on f4. I mean, there's different ways black could try to go about this. If black plays f6, let's take that pawn. Let's take on g5. I mean, let's just steamroll this position. We got two passed pawns now, which is incredible. And if knight g8, okay, fine. We take, and here we go again. Two passed pawns, and we're crushing the king side of the board. With great chances. I mean, let's just say the queen runs. Okay, we keep pushing. Let's just say that the bishop runs here. Okay, we keep pushing. Let's say the knight runs. Okay, bishop f6. The rook's done. The rook's done. So, g takes f4 is played. We now have knight takes f4. The engine there prefers bishop takes f4, which makes sense because the bishop can ih6. The bishop can help with g5. The knight here in a lot of ways is just kind of neutralized. But I still think white has a much better game. We have castling queenside from both sides. I mean, it wouldn't be a great idea for black to castle kingside there. And this is another concept that I'm really big on, big fan of. When you play a fianchetto opening, I don't care what it is, hippopotamus defense, King's fianchetto opening, Owen's defense, Nimzowitsch Larsen, Larsen's attack, modern, whatever. Your bishop's not stuck there forever. Right now, our bishop is looking at a pawn that is very strong. I mean, d5 is a strong pawn. It's not going anywhere. We're not going to play c4 with all the pressure black has against that spot. So our bishop at this point is not doing much. Okay, bishop f1. You got to ask yourself, which one of these bishops is better? I think black's is, and it's more important for black because it's defending this king. This bishop's not defending our king. So for those two reasons, we offer a trade. And black goes, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So we see the move of bishop b7. The engine move here is king b1. Very interesting that the engine likes this, but it makes sense because now this king is not on this diagonal. For the rest of this game, black has no tactical chances on that diagonal ever. And if you're looking at the black side, Very cramped position, very difficult to play. F6 is still something that's not recommended, but black might have to try it at some point because of the fact that there's just not much else that they can do. And we have a lot of different ways that we can look to really put pressure on the black side. We have great space on the king side. F7 is backwards at the moment. That's a backwards pawn. And if you play F6, then E6 becomes backwards. So black's going to have issues no matter what. We see the move here, bishop D3 instead, and this allows black the opportunity to play knight takes E5. Black did not see that, but the idea here is that if we take, black has D4, and this is counterplay that black needed. It's like black was drowning and they were just trying to catch some air. By doing this, they did. Black actually has some play. They don't just have to sit around and wait to lose. The rook's attacked, the knight's attacked, the bishop's attacked. If we play the engine move, bishop b5, c6 can be played. Now, of course, this bishop's not as active. Of course, our bishop's attacked. And here, I mean, the engine still has a slight edge for white. I would say if I was white here, I would be very concerned. I'm not very comfortable in this type of position as white, probably because I'm going up against two fianchettoed bishops, which reminds me of the hippo. I'd be much more comfortable as black here personally. Let me know which side you take. I'm guessing a lot of players would like white. Maybe not on this channel because y'all are like me and y'all are kind of crazy when it comes to chess opening theory and how to play the game. But I think most players out there would probably take white. But nonetheless, right? Here in the game, bishop d3, black misses that. We have knight b4. And here in the game, bishop b5. Huge mistake. Black is better if they can find the right move. Now, black played c6. As you can see, not a good move. What should black play here? Pause the video if you'd like and try to find the idea. I mean, this is just a straight up blunder. And I'm thinking this is a faster time control because in a classical game, we're not going to see that from Magnus. Black here. Missed. Knight takes a2 check. Beautiful move. We got to take the knight. And if we do that, black takes on b5. Black is up a pawn. Black is up material. And they have a slight advantage. Really a big advantage practically, in my opinion. If we play king b1, I mean, it's not like, oh, the queen's attacked, the knight's attacked, we're winning. No. Knight takes c3, removing the defender for that bishop. Black there's not going to take our bishop right now. They're going to remove the defender and then take. And, I mean, we're down a piece in the pawn. But black misses that. We have c6, bishop e2, queen c7, and here is where white really takes off. I mean, putting a rook on f1, I mean, this is the only semi-open file that we have access to, so you might as well. We have rook f2 now, probably gearing up for a battery ram at this point. But with the move of c5, this is very weakening because it weakens b5, and if we can get a knight into b5, we have d6. This is another thing I talk about in the hippo. I mean, as y'all can see, I'm a big fan of the hippo, such a fan. I made a over 6-hour course on it. If you're interested in that, that'll be in the description below. And I played it exclusively to the National Master title, going 6-0 to reach 22-10 ELO over the board. But when it comes to the hippo, guys, I'm a big fan of c5 at some point in a lot of cases, but you got to play a6 first. Play a6 first here, and then c5, okay? If you play c5 right now, the knight just jumps right in. And that's exactly what we see. 1 and 2 with check. We have capturing on c5. Bishop takes c5. We have knight d3 maneuvering, defending the e5 pawn. Now, black does take it, but we have knight takes f7, looking at the rook, looking at the bishop. Bishop g3. Knight takes h8, right? I mean, white here just going, yeah, do what you want. You want to take on f2, which is not what we saw in the game. Knight g6, right? Good move. Very solid move there. Our bishop is protected. We are aiming towards that rook, and if knight takes g6, we calmly capture back. Again, we're still looking at the rook, a little bit of a different way now. But if you decide to take on c5, knight takes c5, and we are crushing this kind of position. I mean, if the king goes to e7 or something, let's break it open some more, right? That's playable. And there's different ways of playing this, honestly. I mean, if I was in an over-the-board game, I might not play risky here, but if you do the calculation, this is not risky, because if the king captures back, we have queen takes d5, and the king's just cooked. You go to e7, we have queen d7 and then queen f5. If you go to f6, we have, well, queen f5, and this rook is going to come to d7, right? Very active if the king runs, rook d7. Let's say king h8 is played, g7, right? let's say king g8 is okay, bishop c4. So, I mean, that's just absolutely crushing. So instead here, we see the move of rook takes h8, right? We don't see black go for that rook, but that allows the rook to the 7th rank. And we have a double up now. We have a replacement on f7. We have queen takes h6. We don't need to take that bishop. Take on c5 all you want. We're gonna do other things while you're trying to trade down, trying to limit our attacking chances. We take on c5. We're +4 in material. We have queen takes e6, and here following king b6 and knight d7 check, forking the king and the queen, black resigns. So beautiful game there. I mean, just all the way through when you're taking a look at it. When we go back to the starting position, just a quick reminder for those of you playing the Grob, there's a lot of moves here for black that could be considered passive, right? You could see e6 and knight c6. You could see g6. You could see a6. There's a lot of moves here that could be considered pretty passive. And if black doesn't really make any kind of threat against your space, you're able to even things out. All of a sudden, g4 doesn't seem so weak. h4 doesn't seem so weak because there's a pawn there and it's defended by a rook, right? h6, we have, in this game, d4, e4, bishop e3. Nice development from white. And as we saw, I mean, white was able to really put the pressure on early and win the game because of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. I wanted to finish this video out by giving a big thanks to Walter, Steve, Rob, that's a lot of Robs, Ray, Roger, and the rest of my Patreon community. I appreciate you guys a ton. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon before, there are some exclusive benefits that you gain by becoming a member, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Peace.